Honourable Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to direct this question without notice to the Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, my question relates to Papua New Guinea's own honours, system known as the Orders of Papua New Guinea and the British Imperial Honours. The recognition of our citizens and leaders in all walks of life by awarding them for their services is the least the country can do to recognize their selfless services to their communities, society, and country. Mr. Speaker, the administration of the processes, the honors and awards are set out in the regulations of the orders. And this regulation is very strict, Mr. Speaker, as it does not allow for the politicization of the award system, meaning that the council was established by the then Her Majesty, the Queen, is supposed to operate freely of political and bureaucratic influences. And as per the letters of patent instrument, His now Majesty the King is a sovereign and head of both the Orders of Papua New Guinea and the Imperial Honours. My questions to the Prime Minister are as follows. 1. Prime Minister, to you, Mr. Speaker, can you confirm or deny that Buckingham Palace has suspended the honours and award systems to Papua New Guinea amid certain consents? 2. And whether that part of the reasons relate to the wholesale removal of the previous council members and chairmen by Cabinet in 2020 without following the regulations. And 3. And that such actions has now exposed the Council to the whims of Cabinet and therefore political influence, something that concerns Buckingham Palace and also against the regulations. 4. And whether the current makeup and composition of the Council no longer meets the composition prescribed in the regulation. Mr. Speaker, this is an important issue since the Constitution and the regulations of the orders were drafted in tandem with Buckingham Palace. My final question is, so does the Prime Minister have any plans to rectify this matter, if indeed this is the case? Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. Me also congratulate him, you, Silan Lucia, Lon morning. Let me appreciate the question from the opposition leader on the honors and award process and procedures. Let me assure him and this House and our country there is no political interference in the honors and awards program, the process. Few years back there was some concern, even predating 2020, on the manner in which the awards were processed, especially at the board level. We had a look at the entire structure. It is still distant from political interference and control. The awards committee is headed by, I think, a representative from the Council of Church and the various bodies that sit in the Honors and Awards Committee. We have looked at that. It is far from any, in terms of political control over that board. It's an independent, totally independent process. When nominations are given for members to be citizens and exemplary citizens, distinguished citizens, to be considered for awards, that independent body checks, and it comes back to Prime Minister as the last person in terms of formality, just to give clearance for the names to be progressed. And so I think the independence of the process is maintained. There was some concern a few years back. That has been rectified. We restored the full independent process, and there is no political interference in the entire process. It has been restored to what it was before, or should be, and it is now functional. But to satisfy the opposition leader fully, I will relook at what is happening, get a written reply to the opposition leader. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.